today to touch a few topics. Basically, I was to touch academic audit, and Dr. Panaik asked me to touch academic audit and SWOT analysis, mainly focusing on SWOT analysis out of the two. And in addition, I was to take a session on Thursday, that governance and support in for quality improvement in a technical institution. I'm going to touch all the three issues simultaneous today, and I will be with you throughout the day now till the end of the day, and looking into these three sessions. First, I will be talking about academic audit and SWOT analysis in totality, maybe in next one, this and next session. And I will be, and in the last session, we will be having some quiz on the what we have done today. This will be in brief what we are going to do today from our side. I think we have already dealt with one session on NAC in the morning by Dr. Panaik, an interesting session you must have faced. And now I am going to talk on the another important issue, academic audit and SWOT analysis. Before starting this session, way I asked few people at different centers, what do you perceive as academic audit? Anybody who can let me know, what do you perceive as an academic audit? Have you dealt till now something in this program regarding academic audit? Anything you would like to comment on it? Anybody? House is open now. I am expecting, let me tell you friends, I will not be pursuing ahead unless you interact with me. And it is better for both of the parties that we keep on interacting, because unless the session is interesting, nobody is going to enjoy, neither you nor me. So expectation is you give your best, I will try to give you my best. And that will be the session through which we will enjoy, both of the parties, you as well as I. So it will be motivating for both of us. And that's the reason I'm requesting you to interact as thoroughly as possible. And I'm sure that people at different centers, 6 centers are there. They are quite senior people, have dealt with all these things in the past. And sharing their experiences will be a privilege for them to guide this program, to assist in this program, to make this program more motivating. So the topic I have asked you, academic audit. What do you perceive as academic audit? Have we discussed something regarding this till now? This is my question.
Academic audit means to check faculty wise, means the faculty whatever they're teaching, they have the course file, attendance, notes, and what are the academic calendar before the starting of session, both the academic calendar of even odd session and even session, what are the activities we have to conduct during this academic year. So all this in this area, the committee which is formed for the academic audit, we ask to the individual faculty or the head of the department, sir.
Okay, very fine. Whosoever is interacting, I will be requesting the individual to just name himself, just who he is, so that everybody knows who is interacting. I request you all for that purpose. Okay?
Good morning,
Uh,
sir.
Haji, sure, carry on. Mr.
Sir,
Raju.
I am Rakesh Raju from Aditya Institute of Technology and Management. Sir,
Okay.
in our college, we are practicing audit reports regarding internal quality. Every semester, students having 2 mid examinations. After end of mid examinations, we are and there is a team. The team will check whether the question paper quality is good. Is it OB based quality? I mean OB format or not, and how the students are attempting, and is there any mistakes or while the correction, is there any mistakes or not? Everything is given. Final after end of the examinations, they are giving audit reports, sir. Like that, we are practicing.
Okay. So this way you are contributing in terms of, you feel this is an audit of your examination system presently.
Yes,
You
sir.
can say this thing. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Anybody else?
Hello, sir.
Sure.
This is Dr. Tasneem from Anjuman College of Engineering and Technology.
Okay.
So we have been doing academic audit on a regular basis, and
Okay.
basically in academic audit we have been having a competition kind of a thing where we have been encouraging the department so that they can evaluate their quality education process.
Okay.
And in this, there is a basically systematic way of reviewing the quality of education which we have been imparting to the students.
Okay,
So it
fine.
basically includes all the teaching and the learning methods, whereby it is also been added to the question paper, how it has been checked, how it has been evaluated, it has
Hmm.
been shown to the students, and attendance, the monitoring system, everything has been included into this. And apart from that, we are also been doing the academic audit for ourselves as well, wherein
Okay. As
we
a
have
teacher,
been.
you are conducting academic audit of a teacher. It means
Yes, sir,
yourself
yes,
means
yes,
as a teacher.
yes, sir. Academic audit basically comprising of both the things, for the students as well as for the teachers as well.
Okay.
So for
Okay.
teachers, we have been asked to show our paper, how many papers we have presented, the book reviews, and so on and so forth. How many
Okay.
STTPs, FDPs we have like attended or conducted.
Very good. Very good inputs. Anybody else who would like to interact? Say
Sir,
something?
good
Sure.
morning. Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Sandeep Srivastava from Manarachna.
Okay.
Uh, Sir, we are all say conducting this academic audit continuously for the students as well as for the teaching staff, and including this the technical staff like lab assistant and lab say, coordinators are there.
Okay.
This academic audit is basically for the reviewing the quality of education and
Okay.
its output. Output as our say sole say source is the students. So
Okay.
as per the student academic audit, we are having some their performance monitoring, like examination, their results, their like assignments, class performances, and their sessional exams. So that comes under the examination evaluation system.
Okay. Very good.
Towards to this teaching teachers evaluation, we continuously the senior people continuously visit the classes, uh, and if they found that they guide us, uh, say where to say improve, where we can improve in teaching learning processes, in the research oriented research field where we are lacking and we can improve there. So such type of the activities say are involved in the academic audit for
Very good.
the good health of students as well as the institution.
Okay. Very good. So you are conducting in terms of students and teachers. Very rightly. You're not involving other stakeholders.
Sir, we are involving the stakeholders because that is based on the feedbacks. Like
Okay.
stakeholder
Okay.
is the student and the alumni is
Okay.
industry peoples. We are conducting the feedback from the parents as well.
Very good.
So that
Very
we can make a conducive atmosphere for the students, and which will help to the improve the student satisfaction. So that's also the student satisfaction report what the sir has Patnaik sir has discussed morning. So we
very
are
good.
following that, and we are definitely the A plus plus, like A plus plus. So we are bound to follow that.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear. Anybody else who would like to say something?
Good morning, sir. This is Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary from SVKM's Institute of Technology, Dhule. It's in Maharashtra, sir.
Okay,
So
sir.
every year we are conducting institutional academic audit, sir, and under which we are considering 10 parameters basically. The very first is curriculum aspects, where the entire departmental annual curricular plan, institutional academic curricular plan, then teaching learning processes we are evaluating. Then the academic competitions which are being organized every year by university and by institutions are also considered. Then research and consultancy policy, whether is being fulfilled by all the faculties or not, that also we are considering. We also have a very good research policy for students and staff members. So that also we are checking whether the students and faculties are in on the research and consultancy path or not. Then we are also evaluating for extension activities. There are various clubs and societies at our institute at department level and institute level. So the activities conducted under such clubs and societies we are evaluating. Then we are also evaluating learning resources like library and other resources. Then ICT based courses which our students are undergoing, like NPTEL, Coursera, and other platforms.
Okay.
Then student support facilities such as cultural, sports, and other facilities which we are providing to our students, whether students are making effective utilization of it or not, that also is being evaluated every year. We are having various committees like anti-ragging cell, grievance redressal cell, women's grievance cell, and all those committees are submitting their minutes also. Those are also being evaluated every year. Then the basic amenities which are provided to students, and if any physical infrastructure amendment is done, any new lab is added into an academic year, that also we are evaluating. MOUs with the industries and all the activities performed under those MOUs Those are also under evaluation in academic audit. And finally, the initiatives and best practices which are being initiated by any department or institute, IQAC cell, those are also being evaluated in the academic audit, sir.
Very good. I must say you are doing quite an elaborate work in this direction. I must compliment you for this purpose. So,
Thank you, sir.
very good, very good. Anybody else who would like to comment? Archana, I think she has raised her hand. Archana, would you like to comment? Archana Shirbhate.
Sir, Archana Shirbhate from Anjuman College of Engineering, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Sir, actually, we are conducting AAA audit, external AAA audit for this. We are inviting expert authority from government or NITs, and they come to our place, they check the audit. And what are the points for the audit we have selected? That is, the first point is the human resources. In
Okay.
that, we are mentioning the student faculty ratio. Then how many faculties have attended FDP, SCTP workshop in an academic year? This is the point. Then next is participation of faculty in various bodies, means BOS or academic council is there, then they will score the marks. Third point is the next point is teaching learning process. So in teaching learning process, there are too many points. Course outcome is prepared or not. If the course outcome is prepared, they have to show the link for this. Then percentage of students who graduated without any backlog for all 8 semesters. Next point is percentage of students who graduated successfully last year. Then academic performance report for third year, second year. Then percentage of faculty members preparing and implementing lecture plans and attendance register. If yes, they get the marks, they have to show the details of it. Otherwise, they will not get the marks. Then next point is academic calendar. So academic calendar, first is university academic calendar, then college academic calendar, then departmental academic calendar. When it comes to the departmental academic calendar, there is a planned departmental academic calendar and execution. So there are two different academic calendars. So there might be some there is a difference. Means whenever you are planning, execution is there or not. So these two calendars are mandatory for every department. Then ICT tools, use of any other teaching learning process. Then what parameters you are using for ICT teaching learning process, means e-journals, online assignments, online feedback on teaching learning. These are the points we are covering. Then breach courses. Do you offer any breach courses? Then we are arising next question. Are the project, assignment, fieldwork, seminar are the part of teaching learning process? If yes, evaluation process you have to show. It is analyzed and it is communicated to the students or not? Yes or no? If yes, give the details. Then quality of internal semester question paper, assignments, their evaluation ensured by each of the department. Then quality of final year student project ensured by each of the department, specify and elaborated. Next point is participation of students group in national, international conference, seminar, workshop, project, poster competition, model competition, and so on. And next is innovation teaching practices. So innovation in teaching learning process. So this is the parameters we are covered. Then research output, then community outreach, then student supports, then and training and placement. So these are the external AAA audit programs. Sir. We are communicated, we are evaluated the shit and send it to every department so that they should know the gray areas of their department so that they can upgrade their marks in accordingly. This is the way, sir.
Very good. I must say, compliment you. You are covering almost every aspect of what it is. Now, I ask you a simple question.
Ji, sir.
Whether NAC and NBA, are these again academic audits? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. In academic audit, we have covered all the points.
Okay. So you can say NAC is institutional academic audit and
Yes,
NBA
sir.
is program academic audit. Am I
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So many of you are preparing yourself for basically qualitative improvement. Quantity
Yes, sir.
definitely can be judged anytime, but quality is a major issue. Whenever we
Ji.
are talking of improvement in any system, most of the
Hmm.
times we are able to judge the quantity, but quality becomes an important issue. For that purpose, these internal mechanisms of academic audit, SWOT, governance, these play a very significant role in the success of any institution. You
Yes,
may
sir.
have all these things into practice. But unless there is a commitment from the top to do the change, to bring the change, all the change should come from the bottom up. It should be a bottom up model. But start should
Yes.
come from the top. Initiation should be coming from the top. That is called governance and leadership. So these are the few issues I'm going to touch in this presentation: academic audit, governance and leadership, and SWOT analysis. These are three things I'm going to touch in this presentation with you. And let me tell you, I must compliment you people. You people are, your institutions are doing a great job in this direction already in academic audit. Because in today's scenario, if you are to survive, you have to bring the quality. If you are unable to bring the quality, your survival is at a big question mark, going to be a big question mark. Whosoever is going to survive is based on the quality. Quantity, days of quantity are over. Quantity is important for the basic regulatory bodies, statutory bodies, but quality is equally important. Quality is inside. Quality is to be brought from inside. And unless these issues are taken care of by any institution, many of the institutions you have seen are on the verge of being closed because they could not maintain the quality. Quantity, definitely, yes, they have to maintain it because those are needed by the statutory bodies, regulatory bodies. That part has to be taken by them because they give the basic minimum things based on which you have to start. But beyond that, starting, that's the reason I always say there is a difference between mandate and mission. Mandate is what must be done, and vision is what you wish to do. And that is the major difference between the quantity and quality. Quantity has to be taken care of in terms of mandate and mission. Quality has to be taken care of in terms of mission. So, in this present, I will discuss these issues with you. Let me compile or concise or summarize what you have till now conveyed it to me regarding academic audit. From what you have said, I can easily say academic audit is definitely a framework for evaluating institutional performance. This is in broader words, I may like to say. Whatever you are saying, different parameters you are talking of, this gives us a framework for evaluating institutional performance. Unless you have the right framework, you cannot evaluate your institution in the right perspective. This definitely gives you a framework. The scope of it can vary from the framework. Scope may vary from, it can be some academic project or the total institution as a whole. It can be academic program, it can be academic project, it can be total institution as a whole. Framework may vary depending on the scope of the work, but academic audit definitely is a systematic review and assessment of what we are doing in the institution in terms of our programs, in terms of our processes, in terms of resources, in terms of our practices, in terms of our quality standards, in terms of our alignment with our institutional goals. All these things are systematically reviewed and then assessed. Why I'm saying first review? You are always preparing a SAR, maybe for NEC, maybe for NBA. What we are doing, we are trying to review what we are doing in self-review. And then assessment is either done by the internal committee. You can always have internal committee for academic audit, or the external committee, as just ma'am has said. They are asking some external experts to be there. The basic objective is to analyze what we are doing, to assess what we are doing. As I said, many times we are asking for the external experts to come for the assessment. Reason is simple. When we are doing it internally, sometimes biases may be there. To remove the biases, we are going in for the external experts. We assume that the experts who are coming from outside the system, they will not be biased with some individuals or with some institution. That's the reason we expected to give them the objective view of what exactly is the institution, where we are standing in terms of our resources, where we are standing in terms of our quality, where we are standing in terms of our performance, whether we are aligning our performance with the goal, vision, mission made by the at the top level. All these things are part and parcel of the academic audit in, I may say, summarizing terms or in brief terms. What again I'm trying to summarize what you have said. You have said broad scope. As I said, scope may vary from the small academic project, which you are evaluating in terms of its resources, in terms of its implementation, in terms of any success indexes. So, or to a total institution in which we'll cover from leading from governance to leadership, academic programs, then faculty and staff, student services, student performance, resource allocation, compliance and regulation. And definitely what we are getting out of is areas for improvement. Let me tell you, many of you people may be going for NBA or NAC. what we are getting out of the evaluation done by the people, external people in terms of NAC or NBA. In the closing meeting, I have been going to for many of these meetings, many of the NBA programs and all this. In the closing meeting, what exactly are the evaluators telling you? Very simple terms. Some of your strengths, some of your weaknesses, some of the compliances which you are doing, some of the areas which you are not complying. In general, they are telling you. What is the broad hint out of it? All these things, strengths, some weaknesses, some compliances, some not compliances, what these are giving? These are the giving us the focus areas for improvement. Focus areas for improvements. Or you can say thirst areas for improvement. Thirst areas are the areas where there is a scope for improvement. And let me tell you, in any academic system, if it is a dynamic system, I am saying if it is a dynamic system, there is a scope for improvement in every activity. Percentage may vary, percentage scope may vary from 5% to 50% or 70%, but there is a scope for improvement in every activity. Out of the total lot, out of the total lot of activities, what we are performing in any institution, we are to analyze what are our priority areas for improvement. What are the areas in which we need to take action immediately? What are the areas in which if we don't take action, they may lead to our loss of quality, they may lead to our loss of brand name, they may lead to our question of survival also. So these things are to be done at the priority level, because I always say chain breaks on the weakest link, and weakest area is that area where there is a scope for maximum improvement. I'm not talking of strength. I'm not saying that don't improve the areas where you're strong. I'm saying start with those areas which are linked with your brand, which are linked with your quality, which are linked with your survival first, because change weaks from the weakest link. That's the areas we are to identify. All of you have talked about when you were talking about the scope of the program. Most of you have talked regarding the review of academic programs. You have talked about faculty and staff, how you are evaluating your faculty and staff. You have also talked about evaluating your student, their performance, the type of services they are getting or the institution is providing. You have talked to some extent to the resource allocation, and some of you, because you are pursuing for accreditation, compliances, regulations for NAC, NBA, or AICT bodies, or your university regulations. So many of you have talked of this. But let me tell you, friends, many of you have not talked about governance and leadership, which is equal important part of success in any institution. Because I said, any institution can start the change the for implementation model, for implementing the model of change starts with a bottom up approach, definitely, yes, but initiation has come from the top. Success is from bottom to top, but initiation has come to top down. Unless the top is giving role modeling, no initiative can be successful. Unless top is giving the right vision, no initiation can be successful. Unless top is giving the right commitment, no initiation can be successful. I'm going to talk a little bit on this issue also in my presentation regarding governance and leadership. Because when you were talking, all of you were talking, you have given me right perspective. I think most of the points have been covered by you, what I am trying to identify in the broad scope of academic audit. This is a broad scope. There may be many more activities. Let me tell you in a broader fashion, whatever is happening in the institution, whatever is being done in the institution comes under the ambit of the academic audit. Whatever activities you are performing, whatever processes you are performing, whatever the properties are there or the infrastructure is there, whatever the products are there in terms of your students pass percentages, their performance at the university level, their academic performance in totality, their extracurricular activities, their placement, then your performance as a teacher, your as you many of you have given us the parameters of the evaluation of students and the evaluation of a teacher. All these become part and parcel of the broad scope of the academic leadership audit. But let me give a little more emphasis on the first part, because I'm supposed to talk on it a little bit more than other parts, because other parts are being taken care of during the course of this program in other sessions. I will be talking a little bit about governance and leadership in addition to my broad topic of academic audit, SWOT, and then governance and leadership. What do you perceive is exactly a governance and leadership? This I'm going to talk. And anybody who would like to talk about what exactly is governance and what is leadership? What is the difference between the two? Anybody who would like to talk? What exactly is governance? What is leadership? And what is the difference between the two? Yes? I must compliment you for your interaction at the very beginning. I'm really happy. This has motivated me to perform better. When I know my group is so knowledgeable, I have to talk from that fashion that I have to add some value to the program. That's the reason I'm expecting a lot of discussion during this program. So friends, the next question first was academic audit. Now the question is, what do you feel is governance? What do you feel is leadership? What is the difference between the two? If you feel these are similar terms or you feel these are different, if these are different, then what is the difference between the two? Anybody?
Yes, sir. May I?
Please, sure, ma'am. Sure.
Sir, I feel governance is basically the processes or the policies which has been designed by the management.
Okay.
So that it can be used or implemented in an organization.
Okay.
Wherein we have been setting certain goals, right? And how we can perform better.
Okay.
That comes under governments, as like from my side, right?
Very right. Very right. Then what is leadership?
And about leadership, I feel it is the ability where we can influence other people in order to achieve a common goal.
Okay. So, do you feel governance and leadership are the same or complementary terms or different?
They're different, actually.
So, what is the major difference then? Again, you have given the terminology rightly said, I must say. But can you give me some points of difference between the two?
See, governance, because, for example, if we consider policies, so there are many policies and people are having different opinions on the policies, right? But if we wanted to achieve a simple target, so we need to bring all the people under one umbrella, and that can only be done by the leader.
Okay.
Who is going to change their thought process, or maybe who is going to influence them, or who will make them understand, this is going to be a proper thing in future.
Okay, very right.
Yes, so I feel a leader basically supports in doing the or implementing the policies in a better way.
Okay. So, anybody else? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I must say, you have given me some inputs on the issue, but still something more is required.
Yeah, sure, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Let somebody else comment on it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Anybody else who would like to comment on it? Governance and leadership, and what's the difference between the two? Or are these the same? Ma'am have given some inputs on the issue, very rightly said, she has given the things. But what does anybody else feel about it? I think Harpreet, she was there. She wanted to talk. Harpreet, are you there? Can you say something? Would you like to say something? So nobody wants to say anything on this issue? So they think these are the same?
Yes, sir.
Please,
Hello.
Dr. Zavindra or Dr. Wahid. Anybody out of the two? Dr. Zavindra, you want to say something? ABES? Sure. Kindly carry on.
Sir, governance refer to the process by which decisions are made. And
Okay.
leadership means you are influencing or you are guiding, you are putting some statement.
Okay. Very good. Wahid, Dr. Wahid, you would like to say something?
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Dr. Atif from Delhi Technical Campus.
Sure.
Basically, Leadership and governance are different terms. Leadership basically sets the, it generally means to sets the direction and make sure that the planning you have done it happens. And governance basically refers to the accountability for doing that. So governance can also be termed as the authority. So basically, the goal of good governance can be as to provide economical, efficient, and effective services to all the stakeholders, whereas leadership is responsible in providing a systematic path to achieve these goals.
Okay, very great, very right, very right. Anybody else? Anybody else? From what I get from the two people who have spoken on it, even three people I may say, Dr. Tasneem, Dr. Dvinda, ABS, and Wahid. Can I put it in this fashion that governance is a little bit, you can say, a formal thing and leadership is informal? Can I say this thing? Anybody? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So governance is a formal. You can say you are framing formal policies, formal practices, formal structures, formal guidelines, formal operations for administration, implementation, management of your resources, of your people, of your activities. But leadership is basically is trying to implement those in an informal manner. Let me tell you again the difference. One, there can be a manager, another can be a leader. In a straightway fashion, a person sitting on the chair working on these issues, implementing the policies, practices, structures in a formal manner, you can say is a manager. But a leader is beyond this being a manager. He can work with informal issues also. He can work in an informal manner also. Because I always say the difference between management and a leadership is management is more or less, as I said, is formal. Leadership is formal plus informal. It is beyond management. It is beyond management. A leader can do the activities without even position, without the position, formal position. But manager has to have some position to manage the show because he is to work in a formal fashion. In general terms, many a times we say manager does the things right. Manager does the things right. Leader does the right things. Means he is visionary. He is working with some mission. He is having broad thought of what he can, what are his capabilities, how he can handle the situation. Maybe out of the total formal process. This is the major difference. And let me tell you, in the academic scenario, in today's times, we are most of the times, I may say, working in terms of governance. Academic leadership part is missing in many, or I may say most of the organization. The one expert has once said, show me an organization which is growing, I will show you the leader. That is the basic pause I am telling. The point of difference is management, governance, these are formal processes. Leadership can be formal plus informal. Definitely informal part is much more than formal. I generally give an example of two people here. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was a great visionary. He was not having any formal position, but he could make the things change because he had the vision. He had the ability to inspire people. He has the ability to motivate people. He has the ability to carry along people. So you can say leadership is more or less informal in terms of inspiring, motivating, and carrying them along for the achievement of objectives. But management or governance is more or less a formal process of working on the framework of policies, practices, structures, decision making, guiding, assisting, implementing in a formal manner. If you want to succeed in today's scenario, governance and leadership both are important, very, very important. If you say without leadership, governance can work, definitely can work. But if you want to be successful, the process of both is equally important. Unless you have right processes, right policies, right practices, you can't move ahead. Unless you have such a person, on the other hand, a person sitting on the top, working on a formal way, can run the show, definitely yes. But whether that running of show is leading to happiness, leading to quality of operations, leading to success, leading to brand name, this all depends on the quality of leadership, because he is trying to get the people along with him. He can change the thought process in different situations. He cannot have the same format of working which he is supposed to have in terms of governance. In different situations, he thinks differently, works differently, sometimes following the right procedure, sometimes may not be following the right procedure, but getting the results in the end is the way or the goal of leadership. That's the reason I want to stress, make this point clear to you before moving ahead. Let me quote a very small story to show you that what it is, how it is working. This is a fantasy basically. What happened? This is a very small story. You will enjoy the story. Once Mena and an elephant were very good friends. Mena and elephant. Mena is a bird. Elephant is a big animal. You know. They were very good friends. They were living very nearby. Mena was living on the tree, in the branches of the tree with her nest, and elephant was staying on the ground under the same shady tree. While they were living together, they became very good friends. What was happening daily? Mena would fly in the sky, see the sky from the top, see the children enjoying, children running here and there, rivers flowing, mountains, then people working in the fields, all these things the Mena was seeing from the top. On the other hand, elephants used to move around the jungle throughout the day, forest throughout the day, gather its food, move here and there, may go to a river for drinking water, see moving birds in the sky, and other things in whatever was possible with its movement. At the end of the day, they used to share with each other what they have done during the day. Mena used to share what it has seen, how it has felt, what were the things it has seen during the day. Similarly, the elephant used to share what it has done during the day. And let me tell you, while Mena was sharing its experiences of the day, most of the times elephant used to think in its heart, alas, I could also fly and see the world from the top. It was its great desire to see the world from the top. Because the way Mena used to explain the world, elephant used to enjoy what it is. Because it could not move so much. It could not move to different places the way Mena could do. But as I said, it has a long desire to see the world from the top. One day, while Mena, the same process was going on daily, different things, different sharing of experiences daily. One day, while Mena was explaining what it had done during the day, after listening the experiences of Mena, immediately elephant said, alas, I could fly. Earlier it was in its heart. No, today it said, alas, I could fly. Immediately Mena responded, bas, itni si baat. Immediately elephant said, this is my desire of life. And you are making a fool of me. You are laughing at me. Such a small desire. And saying, bas, itni si baat. Immediately, Mena said, definitely this is a very small thing. Elephant said, how can that be? I am such a big animal. How can I fly and see that world from the top? Mena immediately, also elephant said, If anybody can help me out in flying and letting me know the word from the top, I will be indebted to that individual throughout my life, because this is the desire of my life. Mena said, okay, this can be done. Elephant asked, can you help me out in this matter? Mena said, yes, I can help you out, and definitely you will fly. Because Mena had said, given the assurance that she can fly, you can fly to the elephant, elephant was a little bit surprised, a little bit having a feeling of fear, happiness. All these things were there in the mind of the elephant. Elephant asked, if you will help me out in flying, I will be indebted to you the same thing which he has said for others. I will be indebted to you throughout my life. What Mena did? Mena broke a feather from its tail and gave it to the elephant. Elephant held it in its trunk and he asked, what I am to do with it? Mena said, you have such a big brain. Why don't you use it? Why don't you use it? Elephants started thinking what one wants to convey. After thinking, elephant did what? It started waving its ear. It started waving its ear, but it was not much impactful. Mena said, again, I'm saying you have such a big brain, can use it to some extent. Elephant started thinking and then started waving its ears very fast. When it was waving its ear very fast, and let me tell you, it started flying. It started flying. It reached the sky. After having the sortie, it started seeing the word from the top. It saw hills, beautiful hills, which were covered with snow, birds flying in the sky, rivers, beautiful villages, towns, skyscrapers, everything it saw. It kept on flying, flying, flying. It never wanted to come down, but at the end of the day, it was so much exhausted, it had no energy to fly. It had no choice but to come down. It came down. Elephant was so much happy that the life desire has been fulfilled that day to see the bird from the top. So much happy after landing, it thanked Mena from the core of the heart and said, "आज से तेरे लिए कुछ भी, whatever you will say, I will do for you." Mena said, "No issues. You are my friend. This is just nothing." After coming down, elephant gave the feather back to Mena. Mena took it and threw it back. Elephant was surprised. What you have done? Mena said, what I have done? I have done nothing. Elephant said, you have thrown the feather due to which I could fly. Friends, do I need to quote story more than this? I think you can understand it. Here is what I am saying is leadership. Leadership is that part of the story which can make things happen which you perceive as an individual may not happen. It can have wonders to happen. It can have the right potential from people to come out and make them work which they have never thought they could do. The boundaries which they have thought could never be crossed, it can make them cross. So it is too inspiring. It is too motivating. That part is called the leadership. That is the informal way of my conveying it to you. As I said, leadership is, it can be formal, but more important part of leadership is informal, to keep people, to take people along and work on the path which they have never thought can be workable. This is what I wanted to convey regarding you governance and leadership. What are the key elements of governance in any institution? Basically, governance means I'm talking of four elements of governance in any technical institution. These are in terms of your governing body or board of trustees or board of governors, you may say. This is the highest body whose role is to finalize the vision, strategic direction, major policies, financial matters. All the policies, procedures, strategic plans are made by this body to run an institution in diverse ways. This is the highest body which is there in any institution. If it is a government, then government is a governing body, or if it is a board of governors, in many of the governing bodies and government institutions also, there is a board of governors which is running the institution, making all the plans, making all the policies, and the implementation is afterwards. Like NITR is again a government body, but we also have a board of governors. It's a policy making body. It decides on what policies, how we are to go. It gives the vision, it gives the direction, and based on that, we are all working. This is the top body whose role is at the top to think or give the leadership at the top in terms of its vision, in terms of its strategic plan, in terms of its policies, in terms of procedures. All these are given by the board at the top. Second key element is leadership team, you may say, or the formal position. This is many a time body which is consisting of governing body is consisting of people from different set of people, set of working environments. These can be from academics, these can be from industry, these can be from community, these can be from alumni, but having diverse backgrounds, so that working of an institution is with the set of people who have diverse background and accordingly diverse thought processes. The second part is called the executive body, which maybe you can say can be your director, you can say your chancellor, vice chancellor, president, you may give any nomenclature or principle. This is the leadership team, you may say. This is the formal governance team, you may say. But this is an executive body which is there, which is executing the decisions taken by the top body. Now are they trying to have the mission of what the vision has been made by the governing body. Mission is basically designing of day-to-day procedures, day-to-day activities, day-to-day thought processes, day-to-day processes which can be implementable, taking into consideration the vision given by the top body. Here, the role of your deans, your departmental heads, your academic directors, administrative leaders comes, because this set of people are mainly working in terms of formal set of procedures, policies. They are implementing the policies, procedures, strategic plans designed at the governing body level. And this is, you may say, it is second channel or the second level of governance in the total setup in a technical institution. Third level, I may say this is academic, a purely academic teaching learning process. You can say this can be in the form of faculty senate, where some faculty members are there who are responsible implementation of academic policies, curriculum development, curriculum review, academic standards, or some academic committees who are looking into the review of curriculum, going in for accreditation, going in for regulations, some ethics, some research. This is third level, which is looking into that part of the story. I may say this is academic governance. And finally, another level is there in the institution, which you can say is student governance. I may say student governance. This can be in the form of student representatives. It can be in the form of some representatives from the faculty who are looking after their career counseling, career services, placement services, extracurricular activities. This is a body which is looking from in terms of student interests, student welfare, and implementing the issues, policies in that direction. So I generally say in an academic institution or a technical institution, 4 levels of governance are there. One is formal levels, one is at the top governing body, second is your in terms of your directors, vice chancellors, then presidents, or you may give any nomenclature. Third level is academic or governance, in which many of your faculty members are coming in terms of board of studies, then representing bodies, academic policies, implementation, and all these things are in terms of academic. Then fourth level is student governance. These are the levels based on which any academic institution runs. Am I right? Or any other level is also there in your terms, my friends? As per my knowledge, I feel in any academic institution, these are the 4 levels of governance. Do you agree with me, or you would like to add something to it? Yes? Nobody wants to comment? Nobody wants to comment on this? So friends, what these governance levels are to do? These are to give, as I said, different governance levels are to do what? At the top, as I said, they are to give leadership and VN. They are to give strategic plan. They are to give quality policies. But assurance, accreditation, this is then at the academic level. As I've given you, every governance level is contributing in the overall implementation of initiatives in the institution for the holistic development of the institution, leading to quality improvement. So, as I said, all the 4 levels are contributing in one way or the other. Different things, as I said, are being performed. One is contributing at the highest level in terms of leadership, VN, strategic plan, and the policies which are needed for the implementation at the total institution level. These are given by the highest level. But how to implement those policies and procedures, that is given at the second level, who is making procedures, simplified operational policies at day 2 level, that is second level. Then third level comes the implementation part in terms of board of studies, academic policies implementation, academic calendar implementation. This is done by the third level. Then development of faculty, this is again done at the second level. Then curriculum development done at the third level of governance. Student support services at the fourth level of governance. Research and innovation is done at the third level of governance. Data collection and analysis is done at the third level of governance. Feedback mechanism, definitely this is done at all the 3 levels, starting at the student level, academic governance level, leadership level, and finally it goes to the top level, which again makes some policies, issues, improvements based on the feedback which it gets from the other levels. Financial support, this is designed at the top level but implemented at the different levels. Then external partnerships, again policy is finalized at the top level but implementation is done at the different level. Compliance and ethics, this is done at the last 2 levels. Continuous improvement, culture, as I said, has to be totality. It has to start from the top and implemented in such a fashion that everybody from the lowermost till topmost becomes part and parcel of it. Starting is top-down model, but implementation is bottom-up approach. Only then it becomes a culture. Because culture is never implemented in right perspective if it outside in. It has to come from inside out. That's the reason said it has to be implemented from all the levels, first starting from top to bottom and then working from bottom to up, vice versa, bottom to top for its real implementation. Then regular reviews and audits, this is done at the middle level, at the leadership level number 2. Communication and transparency, again at all the levels. And finally, benchmarking of what you are doing is done at the first 2 levels, at the means governing body level and the leadership level, which I have said in the in the governance levels given by me. So this is in all what is regarding governance, what activities are to be done by you or your team members or the higher authorities at the level, what they are exactly implementing. They can implement any improvement initiative provided they work on this model, which is called PDCA cycle of quality improvement. The most important part of this model is the authorities, the governance level, or the leadership in any academic institution must know what are we trying to accomplish. What are we trying to accomplish? Means, what are our goals? What is our mission? Whether this mission is leading towards VN or not? What is our mandate? All these things should be known to the people who are at this level. Then how we will know that change is an improvement? This is very important question. Many times we try to bring a change, but we are not sure whether this change will bring an important or not, or whether this change is important for bringing an improvement or not. We are bringing change for this heck of a change, because change is a permanent feature, we say. Before bringing any change, we must know that this change is going to bring an improvement. We have to answer another question. If this is not the change which can bring the improvement, what change can we make that will result in an improvement? The three questions which any management at the top should be able to answer before for any improvement model. For this purpose, we generally say PDCA cycle. If you want to bring a change, first understand, have your plan for change. Have your plan. Whatever plan you may have, strategic plan you have. As I gave you the few scenarios, the things you, in terms of when I was talking of academic audit, there are few things. The change based on which you bring the change. First areas I have told you. The change which must be done at the immediate level, without which your survival is at stake, your brand is at stake, your quality is at stake, which must be done at the prioritized level, because change breaks from the weakest link. That plan you have to have. Once you have made the plan, you have to implement the plan. That is called do. You have implemented the plan based on some assumptions. Okay, this type of resources I will get, this type of environment I will get. This based on some pre-assumptions at the plan level, you are implementing the plan. That is called do. Now you have implemented the plan and trying to match the plan, the implementation outcome with what we have planned. Sometimes these are matching, sometimes these are not matching. This is called third step, study or check whether the objective set by us, whether the goal set by us for any plan have been achieved, or there are some deviations, there are some gaps. This is done at the third level, which is called study or check. If there are gaps, we have to plan and get some alternative actions for improvement. If the plan, if the implementation is giving the right results, we have to keep on implementing it. This becomes the fourth part, which is called act. In this act, there can be alternative course of action. There can be continuation of the same course of action, depending on what results we get at the check level. So this is the wave of improvement or bringing any quality improvement by any academic institution in way of its governance. So this is in brief what I wanted to talk to you regarding governance for bringing quality improvement in any institution. Now, friends, I am going to talk something important differently on different issue. Now I am giving you a statement. You have to comment on this statement. The statement I am reading for you: if you know yourself and your enemy, you need not bother the results of 100 battles. This is a statement given by a Chinese general in 500 BC. The name of this Chinese general was Sun Tzu. Now you have to respond on this. What are the key elements of this statement? I want you to respond on it, because the next course of my presentation is dependent on this statement. If you know yourself and your enemy, you need not bother the results of 100 battles. I am expecting a response from you now on this statement in terms of what are the key elements of this statement. I'm waiting for your response now. I hope I am making the point very clear to you. This is a statement given by a Chinese general in 500 BC, means before Christ, long back. And this statement is very, very valid statement in today's scenario. What this statement is conveying? What are the key elements of this statement? If you know yourself and your enemy. Yes, Harpreet, what you want to say? You have written totally correct, sir. Just statement, definitely the statement is correct. What do you perceive from this statement? What are the key elements of this statement?
Sir,
Yes.
actually, when we know what is to be done, only then we can plan accordingly and we can implement our planning. If we don't know what is to be done, we don't know about ourselves or we don't know about the problem. The first step is to just know about what is the exact problem and how it can be lead to the solution. So that's the thing. That's why I think this is a very correct statement.
The statement is correct, definitely. Yes, this statement is very pertinent in today's scenario. That's the reason I said. You have given me the informal way of what it is. But I am expecting what are the key elements of this statement. Can you underline a few words which are important in this statement?
Good morning, sir.
Sure.
Know yourself, enemy, and not bothering about results. So means the statement of the problem and the planning to reach the solution and to implement that and without any, because if you have the proper planning to implement that, to lead to the solution, so you need not to bother about the results. So this
Okay,
is
very
the thing.
correct. Thank you. Thank you, Harpreet. I think Mr. Raju has
Welcome,
raised
sir.
her hand. Dr. Raju?
Sir, good morning.
Sure.
Sir, if we know ourselves, then it is nothing but our strengths. We know our strength and our weaknesses. Similarly, if you know,
First, underline the words which are there. I want to know the key words of this statement. First, give me the key words which are important to understand. I have written the statement, if you know yourself and your enemy, you need not bother the results of under better. What are the key words of this statement? There are some words which are important to understand in this statement. What are those key words? I'm asking you. Please convey it to me, Mr. Raju. Ma'am, Harpreet has written knowing yourself. Very correct. Very, very correct. Any other key word?
So your enemy, know yourself and your enemy.
Okay, I am saying enemy means competitor. Let's take it competitor. Okay. The two key words are knowing yourself and your enemy. Enemy is competitor. Is it not the pertinent statement in today's scenario when the times are so competitive? If you know yourself and your competitor, you need not bother the results of under battle. This is basically a statement given by a army general. That battle in terms of today, I may say competition. Battle means competition. In this competitive world, if you have to survive, you need to do two things very importantly. First is knowing yourself and then knowing your competitor. What do we really mean by knowing yourself? Do we really know ourselves? Let me not talk in terms of institution presently. Let me not talk in terms of institution presently. Let's talk about ourselves. I'm going to ask a simple question. What is the lifespan of an individual? In general, every lifespan, what is our lifespan in general? Many of you may say 60 to 65 years. Am I right?
yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, yes.
Out of this life, everybody is having 24 hours. let give you some statistics. Out of this 24 hours, we are generally sleeping, generally on an average sleeping 8 hours a day. Am I right? 8 hours a day. Average I am talking. Some people may be sleeping more, some may be sleeping less. 8 hours a day. So it comes out to be almost 1/3 of our life we are sleeping. Is it okay? Is it right? 1/3 of our life we are sleeping. Then around 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, we are spending on daily course. Maybe sometimes eating, maybe taking bath, maybe doing some other activities. Around 3 to 4 hours a day. Let's say 4 hours. It comes out to be total 12 hours, 8 plus 4. Means 50% of our time is used, I may say, used in our sleeping and our daily course. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So now comes our working. Most of us work for 8 to 10 hours a day. In private sector, sometimes we are working for 10 hours, 12 hours even. But generally, in most of our sectors, we are working for 8 hours. Even in NITA, we are working from 9 to 5:30 with half an hour break. It comes out to be 8 hours. So most of the times we are working for 8 to 10 hours. Okay.
Okay.
So again, 1/3 of the life we are spending on our working. Now, most of us are coming from our place, coming to the institution. Some may be remaining, staying in the campus, but still on an average, we are spending, sometimes we are going, after going from to our place, we are going somewhere else. On an average, we are spending 1 to 2 hours in traveling and some other issues relating to it. Is it okay? So again, it comes out to be around 10 to 11 hours. First 12 hours we have used in sleeping and daily course. Then around another 10 to 11 hours or 9 to 11 hours we have spent on our job and traveling and other similar activities. How much time is left with us? The time left with us is, you may say, 1 hour a day, maximum 1 hour a day. For what purpose? This hour, you can say we are to spend on ourselves, thinking about ourselves. Then what more? Thinking about our family. Then thinking about our society and community. Then thinking about our country in a whole. I'm not talking of word at all. You may be spending some time even on that, because we are just talking of climate, sustainability, all these things are talking to in general of the word. Environment is part of the story. So these are the issues which we are to think in just 1 hour about myself or yourself, your family, your society and community, your country, and then your word or your. This is the total available time with us to think about all these things. If I divide this again into 3 to 4 issues, yourself, your family, society, community, country, it on an average comes out to be 20 minutes or so, which we are spending, which may be spending, which we can spend, or which some of we may be spending on ourselves. Let's spend this time today on ourselves. Let's spend this time on ourselves today. And let me tell you, most of us has never spent this time on us. What I'm saying, even 20 minutes a day on ourselves, on yourself, you may say. You may be thinking of other things. You may be spending time on other, but about ourselves. When I'm talking of ourself or yourself, what does I really mean about it? I really mean about, some of you have said strengths, weaknesses. Absolutely right. Thinking about myself means I'm thinking about my strengths. I'm thinking about my weaknesses. I am thinking about what opportunities I have in life. I'm also thinking about what threats which are going to impact me. All these issues. Let's think of it. Let's spend some 15 minutes of time on ourselves. Now I am giving you an exercise. I am giving you an exercise. We will have lunch now, but I am giving you an exercise. You have to work on this exercise. What it is? Just identify your 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses. I'm asking you to have pen and pencil because I'm going to discuss it. I'm going to link it with my last part of the story, SWOT. I am expecting you to spend 15 minutes of your time on identifying, right? Just shut your eyes, think about yourself for some time, and then start writing. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? First, only 2 issues. I'm not talking of opportunities and threats first. Let's identify 5 of our strengths and 5 of our weaknesses in just 15 minutes of time. The time starts now. Would you like to do it now, or you will should we be discussing after lunch? I'm asking you people.
After lunch, sir, is it possible, sir?
So I am giving you the time for lunch. I am going to start my session. We are going to start the session at 2 o'clock, but first 15 minutes will be given to you for thinking on yourself. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So in that time, we after 2:15, I am expecting some of you to discuss what you have taught about yourself. This is very, very important part of the story, because unless we know about ourselves, we can't work wonders for the neither for us, nor for the institution, nor for the country in general, nor for the society. अपने बारे ही नहीं पता तो हम दूसरों के बारे में क्या सोचेंगे? पहले अपने बारे तो जाने. First part of the story, let's think of ourselves. If we have to survive, if we have to compete, if we have to be successful, let's think of ourselves first. Now, as I told you, we're going to break for the lunch. We are going to meet at 2 o'clock.